starting. Stop the hammering. Someone go upstairs and stop the hammering.
Oh, hey everyone. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Loser Kid Pinball Podcast. This is episode 134. I am Josh Roop. With me, my co-captain.
As always, Scott Larson.
Oh,
And
as always, yes.
As always, because you're supposed to do that part. But apparently I had to kick in. So
yes.
Hey.
You know what? We're already doing better than the American pinball interview where I had to restart, what was it, 4 times?
4 times, yeah. No,
okay,
it's good.
Okay.
It's good. Well, I showed up late anyway. So it's, it's all good. Life happens and all that kind of stuff. However, if you are going to be buying a game, Josh, who are you going to be contacting?
You know, I actually just did buy a game. I sent my money over for my premium. It should be shipping from Flipping Out headquarters here this week or next. And so I'm pretty excited to get that. As you can see on this side, there's a little bit of a gap. So that's where my jaws is.
What'd you sell?
Next. Oh, I sold Avengers.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, it's gone. The great customer service. Zach bends over backwards. I know he's done it for Scott. He's done it for me. If you need
bending over is not really the best option. He just goes the extra mile for me.
Okay. This is going so unhinged. We're not even to our guests yet. Okay, but if you want like the ABBA pinball machine, give him a call.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Barrio's barbecue.
Take a chance.
All righty, we got tons of news. We got an awesome guest on.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you just watched him like snort something. I'm pretty sure it was Afrin, but you never know.
He's like, I'm dealing with these guys tonight. I better hit the good stuff. Cary Hardy joins us. Cary, how you doing?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, my sinuses, the membranes, every once in a while they just kind of go, you know what? You don't need oxygen anymore, and they start to flame up. So I got to like put them in check with this stuff every once in a while. I'm doing great. Not that you asked, but I'm not snorting anything illegal over here. It's just start getting all jacked. Like, oh yeah.
Hey, how was the eclipse? Did you go see it?
Dude, yeah, it was great. It was one of those things where I've only seen it in like movies and stuff like that. Just so to sit there and lay back and just see it in person, that was pretty amazing. It's a lifetime experience right there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know it hit us 2-3 years ago.
It did, and I didn't go up north. I could have gone to Idaho, but we kind of found out late, and so we decided not to drive up because we thought it was going to be crazy. So we got like the 95% eclipser, but I did go to the ring eclipse. That was it came through Utah. So the ring eclipse, it's like it looks like the Lord of the Rings thing where the moon is a little farther away, so it's not totally eclipsing the sun. So it actually has like a cool ring. It got some cool pictures, but yeah, the temperature does drop.
Yeah, it's weird. Birds start freaking out, like what's going on?
Yeah,
the animals are like, this is not right. It is kind of weird. I only remember one solar eclipse as a kid growing up, and now we have them. It seems like every other year. So,
I'm happy when the news is really mainly about eclipses as opposed to like wars and pestilence and famine and all that stuff.
That is very true. So,
even though we have plenty of that too.
Speaking of eclipses, hey, this is a good segue. Woo. We have a new top listens episode, King of Top Listens on our podcast. So Triple Drain was the original holder at like a little over 65. I want to say it was like 6,700. Keith Ellen blew through it. Like, we're not shocked, right?
Woo.
Like over 8,000 listens. I know that's not Cary numbers, but man, we are happy to take that kind of listen. So we want to thank you guys for blowing that out of the water. That was insane. And it's still climbing every day. So I mean, I checked 2 weeks ago. I bet it's up another couple hundred, but yeah, if you want to check out
I download episode, at least 10 a day, so it does help out.
Yeah, it's mostly Scott. So
I think the Triple Drain is interesting to listen to or to watch because of Joel and Travis just kind of going back and forth against each other on certain things and jabbing at each other, and then if Tom lets them get a word in edgewise, then it's pretty interesting to listen to and everything. Because Tom doesn't really say a whole lot. That's the whole going on joke with that.
Tom talks, yeah.
But yeah, just to hear them jab back and forth with each other and stuff like that is always entertaining. But then you get Keith Elwin on there to talk pinball, and everybody's all ears kind of thing.
Yep, everyone wants to know what's going on with Elwin, man.
Well, did you hear the production schedule that's coming up? It's like Elwin, Elvira, Elwin, I literally
gotta throw in a new version of Elvira.
Yeah, exactly. The fishnet stockings edition. Yeah. But
now someone's gonna put fishnet stockings on the legs of their pinball machine.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that would be sexy. Yeah, I think you should do that. Mm-hmm.
Cary, you need to do a video like oh baby.
Yeah.
What was it? The stern. Oh, the switch.
Oh
your
yeah.
switcher.
Come on, we are family friendly. That's the after.
If you haven't seen that video,
children, it's funny. It's funny. Yeah.
That is my most downvoted video, I think.
Oh, okay. Downvoted or downloaded?
Downvoted.
Okay.
I could confirm, but I know a lot of people didn't like it. But I was like, I thought it was funny.
It gets a lot of backdoor downloads for that one. No one wants to say up front they actually like it.
That's because
it was one of those where
incognito mode. Yeah.
I was looking for like pinball parts, and I happened to arrive at this under the miscellaneous section. I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. And I'm like, I can add it to my cart. I'm buying it. It was one of those where I'm like, I hope I buy it. And they go, this is not meant to be purchased. This is a gag gift kind of thing. And I was like, but it was real. And it arrived. My only disappointment was that it didn't have the pink tassel like it did in the picture. Mine was like green or something.
Okay, wait. I thought you made that.
No, it's from Pinball Life. You can buy it from Pinball.
Put a link in the description. I was like, there you go. Get you one of these things.
Okay,
they added my video to their product listing now too.
I am looking that up right now. Pinball Life.
Oh my goodness.
Go to Pinball Life.
Okay.
And then if you go to that miscellaneous or whatever page, I have to find the video myself.
Okay, I guarantee
they even added my video to their product page of it.
By category? Is it by category?
It might be things you don't need or something like that, or miscellaneous.
Game-specific parts, frequently asked questions,
trinkets and novelties you don't need. That's probably what it's under.
That's probably what it's under.
Okay, that's got to be.
That's
something.
Awesome.
Okay, I guarantee Scott Denisi made that in his spare time.
Oh yeah, because he's the one that contacted me, let me know. He's like, hey man, I just want to let you know I added your video to our product page. And I was like, nice.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So now you got to go in cahoots with Pinball Life and make fishnet stockings for your Elvira pinball machines.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm only getting like keychain stuff. Swearware. Oh,
maybe it's not on there anymore.
They sold out.
Trinkets and all. Oh wait, no, it is. There's the plug and play stimulator.
Oh, yeah, it is. Last page, fourth page, the fourth page.
Yeah,
like Scott said, the plug and play pinball.
I seriously,
we'll just call it the light switch. Switcher.
I would buy that, but I seriously think my kids would be running around with it, and some random person would be like, "What is that?"
Yep.
Okay, seriously, I legit thought you made that. As
I put a link in the description. I'm like, we want to get your own link in the description down below.
Again, I thought it was a joke. I was like, "There's no way they made this."
And yet now you can add it to your wish list, baby.
Wow.
But look what it says. It even says, check out the testimony below from a satisfied customer.
I love how your photo just looks so menacing. Like for your video, you're just like, there is nothing like it.
Yeah. It's all true.
Wow.
Tassels and jewel colors may vary.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, okay.
I got a green one on mine.
Oh, well.
Packaged in a discreet black box. Okay, so for those that are listening, like we said, we are family friendly. So if you do want to check this out, just go to Pinball Life.
Toy that
on a stick
that plugs something.
You use it to turn on. You know how it's a pain in the butt to turn on and off your stern pinball machines because you got to like lean over. This is to help aid that. That's to help so you can reach those hard to flip places.
Okay, is it extendable?
Yes.
We got to do a giveaway for one of these or something.
Wow. I'm reaching out right now. Does anybody other than Cary own one of these?
People said that they bought one. They're like, I didn't know this existed. I'm buying one right now.
Oh my goodness.
After this episode, the traffic's going to blow up on Pinball Live.
I sure hope so. Just type in code loserkid.
Yeah. Woo. Get 10% off. Okay, not really. We don't have any.
You know how many emails we're gonna get? I tried to buy this thing. I couldn't get my $2 off because you guys.
Your promo code sucks. I'm never listening to you guys again.
Oh my goodness. Okay, where were we even at? Okay, I'm skipping to the next news item.
Topic 2. Topic number 2. That's it.
Topic number 2.
Yeah.
Pinball Brothers got a new division, and it's called DPX.
DPX.
You mean Dutch Pinball? You said Pinball Brothers.
Oh yes. Oh,
okay.
I apologize.
Okay. Wait. Am I the only one when they keep saying Pinball Brothers and Dutch Pinball? I always have to ask. Wait, aren't they the same company, or who made what? Like, I really do. I get kind of confused.
Dutch did Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski, yeah.
And they also did the Bride of Pinball 2.0 kits.
Yeah.
And then Pinball Brothers did Alien and Queen. And now
for some reason in my mind, I just kind of lump them together. Maybe it's just because of the double Ds.
I wonder if the Europeans do that to us. Like they're like, who is this? Like Stern versus JJP. I apologize if that's.
Yeah. Oh, you totally insulted so many people over there.
That's okay. It's okay. We kid. We tease. You
should have just added the ho in there and make everybody mad.
Okay, so legitimately, anytime someone says like Dutch, in my mind, I always think it's Denmark. And I know it's not. It's Amsterdam, but it's but the Netherlands. But the funny thing is Dutch. I know it's a different country. I know, but it's kind of the same. So Dutch Pinball.
I want to
Pinball
personally
Brothers.
apologize to RB Flip France because I enjoy your guys' content. I was not trying to make fun of you guys. If you've never watched them, you should go check them out. RB Flip France. They're good. Yeah, that's my plug for them. So
okay. So Dutch, they have released pinball. Am I the only one who's just like wondering why?
No, I don't know. What do you think, Cary? What do you think of Dutch pinball?
I know it's been speculated. Do you guys know what's been speculated? It's been speculated that
Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland.
Well, okay, but it's been speculated that this is kind of someone who has some money and is investing, but they don't want to do the whole. I think they want to stay separate on some level. Because of obviously some challenging history, which would make sense. But
you mean Papa Duke, or are you talking about the other investor that actually invested in Dutch Pinball? But it kind of sounds like they want to keep shares separate from Dutch Pinball in this company.
Right. And that's what it seems like, is that there's going to be a division of maybe liability would be the best way of putting it. But I don't know. Okay. Is there anybody out there who actually wants to buy an Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah. It's a John Papaduke game.
Did you play it?
You can hate the individual and what he's done all you want to. I get it, but you can't deny that he makes beautiful games.
Okay,
separate the art from the artist.
No. He does not make beautiful games. He made beautiful games. That's like
he didn't
saying,
even make them.
Hey, okay. That's like saying 25 years ago I was super fit and ripped.
I still say that.
I'm turning 50 this year, and so let's just say I can't ride on that. That, by the way, I never have been, but it's okay. Like legitimately, it would be like ABBA releasing an album now.
They just
did. It's not going to sell the way it did.
ABBA just sold an album.
Okay, no. Oh, okay.
You're going into different content now.
Yeah,
okay, I'm lumping them all together. But okay, all right. It's just
let's just piss off all the Europeans over there. Now you're gonna start jabbing at their ABBA.
Just go watch Eurovision. It's fine. ABBA did win Eurovision, right? We're good.
Yeah. Voyage. It literally just released like 2 years ago.
Oh,
that's what this game is. Okay. Back to Dutch though. Okay, I want to give my 2 cents really quick, and
Alice
I want to hear Cary's 2 cents.
That is my 2 cents. It is not a fun game.
I think if this is going to work, right? Like if Dutch Pinball, I would say I'm going to consider them a legit company. I mean, they produce Big Lebowski. It took them a decade to do it, but I think the fact that they actually did it shows that like they are willing to make their customers whole. It might take a bit.
I'm surprised by the way they did. Just because I thought they were going to, I totally lost that bet. I thought they were going to go bankrupt.
Yeah. I think if anyone is going to pull off doing a John Papaduke game at this point, it's going to have to be someone overseas. Someone that maybe the Papaduke news really isn't in their face. Because we're still here in America with the Deep Root and the SEC stuff. And it doesn't get reported as much over here anymore because it's kind of it's went on its voyage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if you're going to try to sell these Alice in Wonderlands, I played Magic Girl last year at Expo. It's not a $15,000 game, guys. It really is not. But more power to them if they can sell them. I know there's a lot of hype around this. That was my first thought. If you're gonna get away from the John Papaduke stuff, do it over there because you're not going to be successful here in America with that at all, in my opinion. And I think you're still going to have some rough times over there. The other thing too is if you have it in Europe, you don't have the people from America trying to go after litigation for you because it's different countries, and so the laws are different. I don't think someone in Texas is going to be able to then go after or Dutch Pinball for making these games and selling them because they're two different companies now. And I'm not a lawyer. Don't quote me. So I think I don't know, more power to them. If this is what they want to do, cool.
Fine.
But we saw this a mile coming a mile away last year when they're we're bringing Magic Girl to Expo. Why? No one wants this game. This game's older than Big Lebowski because these were being shown 15 years ago, trying to be sold,
but they're playable now with the updated code or refinished code or whatever.
Barely.
Okay, saying they're playable, that is generous. It was
Maybe
not.
I'm just trying to be generous here. I didn't say it was a great game, but you could at least play it where a lot of people just had never been able to play the game before. It was merely just a myth. You only saw it and it was like a damn unicorn for crying out loud. So to have one there for you to play, now whether or not you enjoyed your time there in front of the machine, okay, I got you. I mean, there's a lot of parts in that play field my ball never reached. I'm I don't know how to get up to where it looks like my ball can get up there. I don't know how to get up there kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's so much underneath that glass.
Yeah,
that's with Alice in Wonderland.
There's 3 levels, and I could only get to the second level. It was, and I would try to nail that ball right on, and it would not go up that ramp.
Yeah, it's just I think when it comes to J-pop, it's there's something about his games that speaks to a lot of people. And my wife doesn't know this, but J-pop games speak to her. We go to these shows. This is when we first started getting into pinball.
Yep.
She loved Totan. She loved Theater of Magic. She loved World Cup Soccer. Something about those games speaks to individuals and shows she doesn't know it, but she's a J-pop fan. She likes, for whatever reason, how his games shoot. And I think a lot of people feel that same way as well. And I think they were hoping to get that with Raza. And in my opinion, the time that I had on Raza, no, it was my least favorite of all of the J-pop games and everything. And now you're getting Alice in Wonderland, which I don't think we've ever seen. I know you say it's bad, but I don't think we've ever seen an actually assembled game. It's merely just been the
foam
paperwork
core
crafting of what it would look like. But as far as how it's going to shoot and what it's going to be like, I mean, you look like you got implementation of what we know as Twilight Zone with the magnetic flippers for different playfields.
Wait, didn't they bring one, Josh?
No. Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah, wasn't it Alice?
No.
What did they bring?
They've never made Alice in Wonderland. It's been...
What did they bring over to Expo? What am I thinking?
That was Magic Girl.
Yeah. Oh, Magic. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Fine. So Alice in Wonderland has only been basically in prototype phase of paper mache and what it would look like aesthetically. But as far as playability, no one's ever seen one shooter if it's going to be any good. Aesthetically, I mean, that looks like it could be kind of cool looking, but that's about as much as I got to go on at this point. It's the artwork, and that was Zombie Yeti stuff. So it's
okay, Zombie Yeti definitely sells. We know that Zombie Yeti can make a great game, and obviously, if there is any nugget that comes out of the whole J-pop drama, is the discovery of Zombie Yeti.
But even Zombie Yeti though is I don't want to be.
He's I don't want this. This is junk. I moved on. But
so I sent you guys the foam core in our chat.
Yeah, that's merely what we've seen as far as how it's going to shoot. Who knows?
But it makes no sense. You're looking at this foam core and the ramps come out of nowhere. they come from behind the screen, and it makes no sense.
It's got the Circus Voltaire aspect with the screen underneath the
right,
glass.
and that's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking this looks like Circus Voltaire 2.0. Yeah.
Yeah, it could shoot like Total. I mean, it could. I mean, we don't know. Like, it could be
here's
horrible.
also the challenge, though. The one thing that we have to remember is he released those 4 awesome games. Okay, he released them all under the Williams banner with the Williams machine covering up for everything that he was deficient at. I don't think that the only company that could possibly replicate what Williams was doing in the 90s would be Stern. And I don't think Stern's going to take these on and put that, like, it's, I don't think that he can perform alone. He needs a support cast that is more stable than he is.
Yeah.
I guess that's my point.
I don't know if you guys remember this. I don't know if you had listened to it, but I did that interview with Larry DeMar, and Larry was talking about one of my favorite games, which is sitting over here, World Cup Soccer. And he talked about John Papaduke's dad. I can't remember if he passed away or was having health issues or whatever.
Right.
And he had to step away, and they pretty much finished the game for him.
Right.
So I don't know if you consider World Cup Soccer a John Papaduke game, because
kind of is, but I would say that that's a team approach, and that's what I'm saying. He has not produced a successful game outside of the home team that he played for in the 90s.
So maybe this will work because it's a team effort.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
And you got to think, I think every game that he made is when actually pinball was becoming less and less popular, because at 93 was whenever it was at its pinnacle.
Right.
And every year after that, it just got, it got declined every year after that kind of thing. So, you had Circus Voltaire was like 97, 96.
Yeah. And actually, I played a Circus Voltaire. Magic. Like, my friend had an awesome Circus Voltaire. I kind of wish I'd bought it now. It was the prettiest Circus Voltaire you'll ever see. And it's just that it was really cool. Visually, it was awesome. But I still didn't sell one of my games to buy that game.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like, when we talk CGC and stuff like that, the top requested games are Tales of the Arabian Nights with an updated code.
Sure.
And Theater of Magic with updated code. Because that's the problem with these games, is they were held back by their code back in the 90s.
Sure.
I mean, anyone that's played Theater of Magic, you shoot the left orbit all day long, and it just gives you millions and millions of points. I mean, it's just not. Well, if you're going for points wise,
And we talked to Josh Sharp, and this is in our interview where he's planning on doing a Cactus Canyon, remake with the code, and he said, "I have ideas for other codes too." Right? In a Let's Pretend world, he's like, hey, there are ways of updating some of these older games so they would actually compete on the level of a modern rule set.
Yeah.
But like that's the aspect of what you're talking about there, Josh, when it comes to J-Pop designing a game underneath, the Williams, control system and everything they had there versus what he was doing with Raza at Deep Root. And it's like, definitely, I can tell a difference between what we know shoots well and what was going to possibly be sent out to the public at that time. And Raza was not good.
Yeah.
It just wasn't. I mean, and it sucks, but I mean, I can definitely see, the J-pop-esque stuff sprinkled throughout there and stuff like that. But it definitely was my least favorite thing to shoot of his.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see why we bring this back. And it's interesting. So we're talking Dutch pinball exclusive, right? So sounds like they're going to do Alice in Wonderland, plans for Raza, and plans for Magic Girl. And then on top of that, supposedly they've got the license to do Big Bang Bar and what was the other one? Kingpin? Sure. Okay.
Why?
Okay. The amount of people on the planet who are asking for a Kingpin remake are less than 5.
And that's why I was like, why? Big Bang Bar is mainly just the rarity of it. I've only played Big Bang Bar once or twice at a previous TPF that someone happened to bring, and it was at auction. And I don't really remember it that well. I know it looks cool. It's a Capcom game and everything, and stuff, but it's just mainly the rarity of it that draws the, the need for it or the obsession.
Yeah.
And
there's less than 200. I think there's 190 all total on those.
Okay, with Big Bang Bar, I will actually say though there is an excellent article. We have referenced it before. It was written. It's on Polygon. It's "When Pigs Flew: The Strange History of Capcom's Big Bang Bar," and it was by Brian Crescenti, Crecente. Just look at it. It was 6 years ago. It is an excellent read, and it's interesting really because in many ways you can look at Big Bang Bar and him making those very similar to taking forever for Big Lebowski to make. So maybe that's something that they're thinking, hey, we can continue that. But Big Bang Bar, it's I don't know. I haven't played it enough to say that it's an awesome game. I've only played electronic versions of it. With the Kingpin, I don't see any demand for that. So what are they planning on doing? Are they planning on selling these at a premium price with a limited quantity? Is that pretty much?
Yeah, it's probably a low count number, 100 or 200. If I had to guess, 300 max.
I thought they said they were going to do 500 at around 15,000.
I don't know. Then
you know
make
what?
me a liar.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, there are probably. Okay, I know there are people out there who have that kind of money who are willing to pay for exclusivity. That is not something I'm interested in. I'm interested in if the game shoots well and has some awesome bells and whistles, I'm willing to pay for that. But I am not willing to pay just for exclusivity.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of people out there that are.
So
I mean, now whether or not that's 200 or 300, I don't know about that.
There are people who are, and I don't want to make the mistake to think that I am the only pinball demographic that's out there. What I will say is that this is not my demographic they will be going for. So hopefully, as long as it's a good faith effort and this isn't some weird thing, then I say go ahead. I'm not really looking forward to it other than it being a novelty item.
Yeah, I see. I'm glad that Dutch Pinball has basically corrected their reputation for what it was, and I think now that they're in everybody's good graces, they've seen what they can build with the Big Lebowski. So I think that the what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence that the customer has in that particular manufacturer now is much greater than what it used to be.
Oh yeah.
I just wish that they could get the games out faster to people, though, especially if they have rumored what they're building right now. Then they need to get the ball rolling and get those games out faster. Especially if I order one.
And the rumor is Back to the Future, and I think it's more than a little bit of rumor. Anywho. Someone, I felt like someone did spill the beans in a chat that works for Dutch, but I'm not going to cite that because if you didn't catch that, then
it's a this is how rumors are spread. I would say that the rumor is at least common knowledge enough to say it's public domain.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, all but confirmed, kind of thing.
All but confirmed, and so. Anywho, okay, let's move on. Dutch, I think we've ran the Dutch horse as far as it's going to go. But let's talk now that we've confused the crap out of everybody because we keep saying Dutch and Pinball Brothers. Why don't we talk about Pinball Brothers?
Hey, we're not the only ones, I guarantee.
They just released a new game, and I know that Cary was sending music to me. He's like, "Man, I haven't listened to these guys, but these are absolute bangers." And holy crap, I'm now an ABBA fan. What are they called? Like the ABBA knots or whatever it was.
Yeah. I will say
I was literally like, go on, man. Go on.
This is actually, believe it or not, this is the demographic that is relevant today with the kids out there. Because I was completely I was completely unaware of this, but my nephews are interested in like 80s rock, like the dad rock stuff that we keep saying it's to that demographic of the 40 to 60-year-olds. Okay, this 80s pop music is actually a hit with kids right now. He is a huge ABBA fan and he has nothing to do with this. And so people who are saying this is a bad idea, actually, I think it's a really good idea to do an ABBA game.
ABBA's mainly 70s, though.
Sure, but 70s and 80s.
Their last concert before 2022 was in 82.
Okay,
so it was early 80s by the time that they had their last.
Okay, that's fine.
Early 80s, but like
it's still
it's
it's still in that wheelhouse, I guess. I'm not talking late 80s. I'm talking like pre
especially when you
1985.
compare it to a lot of music that I hear these days, or music quotes that I hear these days. That I'm just like, this is a hit. I mean, like this is horrible. So I would definitely rather listen to ABBA than what a lot of hits that I hear these days. I already sound like an old man. Oh my goodness! But like,
my music. Well, the problem with
back in my day.
the problem with
I'm not
their
gonna lie.
music and my
after
music is their music stinks. Like all the modern stuff. It's terrible.
I'm not gonna lie. After I watch a sign languager do WAP, I feel like I got to take a cold shower. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't seen it, but now you got me curious. I'm gonna watch that now.
Okay, by the way,
I'll find you the clip.
Okay, that can't be real. Just like the pinball turning on anything.
It is.
Yeah,
but when it comes to ABBA, it was one of those where I was like, okay, well, this is a thing. I definitely need to kind of brush up on what's going on. Maybe I know more about these people than I actually do. Maybe there is something to this. And so I put on their greatest hit stuff at work. And it was one of those things where the song would start up. And I was like, this is ABBA? I was like, I know this. I've heard this before. I just didn't know it was them, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my wife sings their stuff at karaoke. So it's like, yeah, she's all about ABBA.
Well, and honestly, so I don't know if you know this, but I actually DJ dances and different events like weddings and whatnot. ABBA is still one of the top requested, like Dancing Queen is one of the top requested songs. And it's 50 years later. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like and here's the thing too. So I was doing research on ABBA after I was kind of baffled, like that ABBA was really the thing that was coming out. They're bigger than the Beatles in some areas in Europe. Like if you're a European company like Pinball Brothers is, and you're aiming like in my opinion, it doesn't make sense to aim for the American market because you have tons of competition here. But in Europe, your competition is not. You've got Dutch Pinball and you got Pins Ready at this point, right? And so if you're really wanting to disrupt and take over that market, you're going to go with titles that are known to European company or to Europe. Queen and ABBA are insanely popular over there. Like if you're beating out the Beatles in Sweden, wow, like that's impressive to me. So I don't know where I was going with this.
Well, to your point, when it comes to the demographic, their choice of demographic, they chose ABBA for a reason because it's basically in their hometown of where they're currently at. So their demographic is where they're at. But wouldn't you think when it came to marketing this game that they would still try to cast a large net? I mean, or do what a lot of the other successful manufacturers out there do when it comes to releasing a new title, proper videos and get the images out, higher quality of this and that versus whatever they want to call what they did.
The potato cam.
Okay. The thing that I truly don't understand with most pinball companies is I have to remind myself, it's kind of like the NFL. The NFL is, you would think for as big of a business the NFL is, that they would be run more professionally on many levels. And there are so many things that are just amateur level. And when it comes to marketing, Stern has something that's very predictable. Okay. You have like a tease, and then you have like the sizzle reel, and then you have like so they have basically the set predictable thing when they're releasing games. Jersey Jack has the best sizzle reel thing, the best reveals that they've done. And everyone else, it feels like a high school marketing class put most of these together. It really does feel like, okay, so what's your term project? What are you doing? And how are you going to do it? And it doesn't seem like they are able to know anything about marketing whatsoever. And I truly don't think that any pinball company really outside of Stern and Stern and Jersey Jack feel like they have any professional involvement. Now, I will say Spooky does a good job about working the pinball world, doing their thing. They have great options. It still feels very high-end amateurish on many levels, and that's how I feel this reveal is.
I still think Spooky's better though than I don't know. And,
okay,
and you say Stern,
maybe
but look at
Spooky could be on that level of JJP and Stern when it comes to getting their product out there. They certainly have some of the best looking games. Like like the art on Halloween sold the game itself before people even played it.
Yeah. Well, and looking at Stern, like obviously you're going to have hiccups sometimes. Like obviously you can't plan when the Queen's going to die, and you have an English title in James Bond trying to release the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just certain things that it's going to be out of your control. But no, I agree. Like if you were to okay, let's do this really quick. So I'm going to steal the bit from Dennis Kriesel, right? Like pinball manufacturers. Josh here.
Please tell me you're going to talk like Batman.
No.
Are you the Nordman?
But Josh here.
Okay.
Your most important day on a release is the first week.
Mm-hmm.
You need to give us high quality photos. You need to give us high quality video. You need to give interviews behind the scenes about the product. Get people hyped. Your most marketing money should be going to day one release, because 6 months later, when you try to revamp and reload, people just don't care. And if you're not taking advantage of the hype on week one, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Right.
There you go.
And that's the thing is that, there's a lot of people even today, like I posted a video talking about this release with ABBA and everything. And I got comments already that people didn't even know that this game was released. They didn't even know it existed. And I'm like, yeah, I know. They kind of just said, hey, we have a game, guys. Just thought we'd let you know, just kind of nonchalantly throw that into a conversation. It's out there in the ether. And, but it wasn't like, they it's just poor marketing when it comes to like at least trying to get as much attention and focus on it at one time. I don't know why they chose to do it this way. If it's their method, but like I said in my video, like previously, if you look at their trailers and announcement videos for their previous games, there was so much more effort into it versus whatever was put into this. It seems like it was very half-ass.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another marketing cue. I went to the Pinball Brothers website. Okay, just just type it in. Okay, it actually, you can go to the website. So type it in, pinballbrothers.com.
That's not a jab at any other pinball manufacturer.
Nope. Okay, and just the splash screen that comes up, which game do you think of?
As a pinball Stranger Things.
Right. Okay. Not your game at all. That's a Stern game. I had to question, was I on the Pinball Brothers website, because it is in the vibe of a different game done by a different manufacturer. I had to scroll down for ABBA. If I were a marketing guy, I would look at that and say, hey, we have ABBA coming out, so we need to have the splash screen that emphasizes some late 70s, early 80s dance vibe.
So what it seems like to me, because I've never seen it this close up before, it looks like they are leaning heavily towards AI art.
That's what I was about to say. Yep.
I wonder if their entire art package is AI. I wonder if they are saving so much money on art, which is the most expensive portion of a game, on just saying, hey, we need this.
That's a really good question. I didn't really think about that, but it looks like
count the fingers.
That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm like, hold on, wait, 1, 2, because fingers, they always mess up on the hands. These computers do.
Oh, those hands on the guitarist on the right look a little rough. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I do love the all white spandex.
Yeah. That's what popped out to me too. Was like, wow.
Yeah, it's like they took the they took the artistic inspiration from Torpedo Alley.
What makes me laugh too, so I've never been to this website. Thanks for pointing this out, Scott. Please join us, because like Scott said, like you come up and it does very much.
It looks like Stranger Things, yeah.
But as you scroll down, you get ABBA, read more, and then the next thing is Revive the Thrill, rated R, restricted.
I know, right?
And I was like, wait, is ABBA restricted? Like, I guess Alien was, but like, I don't feel like the game was something I want to let my kids play. But then it says pinball can be considered addictive and should be treated accordingly. Ask your parents' permission before it leads to reckless behavior. That's kind of a weird. It's kind of a weird thing to put on your website. Like,
ABBA is rated R. Like, what? Like, what kind of game is this? What am I going to see?
It's weird.
I'm actually really curious. We're doing something live right now. We are creating the image generator for this episode. Paint Cary Hardy, Scott Larson, and Josh Roop podcasting about pinball. And
put us in white spandex. Put us in white spandex.
So while you're booking that out, did you read this ABBA, like this flyer? Like, have you read this?
The winter takes it all.
The winner takes it all. Buckle up for the ultimate ABBA adventure. Your mission is to make ABBA immortal by forging their avatars.
Yeah,
to succeed.
I love, by the way, the avatar. That is that genius.
To succeed, you must gather their souls and travel through time and space. Also, you can open the portal to the Voyage dimension where the ancient medallion of power hides. What the heck were they?
Well, they also kind of messed up on the English right there. So you can open the portal instead of also you can order. Or I don't know if that's even worded correctly right there as well, but it's like you can also open the portal to the Voyage dimension.
Okay, by the way, I
go through time and dimensions.
I love that I was trying to get like them to paint us a picture, but it actually wrote us a review.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Cary Hardy, Scott Larson, and Josh Roop are the dynamic trio. We're a trio now. Behind Loser Kid Pinball podcast. This delightful podcast features these two pinball enthusiasts. Apparently someone died. Casually chatting about all things related to pinball. Anyway. Well, while I can't physically paint them or put anyone in white spandex, I can certainly imagine a whimsical scene where they're recording their podcast while decked out in snug, stretchy white outfits.
Woo! So really what's going to happen, Cary, you're coming to Expo, right?
I should be, yeah.
You should be. And
spandex! All spandex!
All spandex!
The ABBA tribute band featuring us.
The tripod. But like, I'm looking at the art, and it's like the things that only ABBA fans would know, and this is something I just recently got a phone call from somebody explaining this to me, but the Voyage version, like the back glass, when it has the four of them looking weird. Because this is basically the Voyage concert is like a holographic version of them.
Okay.
So they're not actually up on stage evidently during this particular Voyage concert. It's merely hologram versions of them playing music and stuff.
Oh, kind of like isn't that what Kiss did on their last show? They like came out as
maybe Gorillas.
Avatars or something like that.
Does that. But it's weird. Like the heads look like almost like Stonehenge, like Wizard of Oz. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay. So, do you really think the artwork is AI generated? They had to pay someone, right? Like,
I think when it comes to because you have to get the proper placement for like the inserts and everything like that. So
yeah,
I think at least on the cabinet was probably assisted with AI. It would not surprise me. As far as the playfield goes, I'm looking at it right now and everything. I mean, it looks like it's, fine to an extent.
Yeah.
I think the playfield is more is definitely better than the cabinet.
Agreed. It almost reminds me Beatles-esque, and I know like Franchi did Beatles, and Beatles is, I'm gonna admit, is a lot better than this. But when I say like Beatles-esque, it's got that like 60s, 70s vibe. Looking at this, I feel like this artwork is better than what Queen had. I don't know if.
Definitely better than Queen. I'm getting closer images on the playfield right here, and honestly, that looks pretty good. Versions of them on the playfield, hell of a lot better than Rush.
Hey, that was a comic book.
Okay. In fairness,
I give Mike all the time.
Yeah,
even when Jaws came out, he was like, "Please be gentle."
Okay, in fairness, like legitimately, people were talking about like that's not how they look, and he showed us the pictures that they sent him to illustrate, and I'm like, yeah, actually, that looks really close. Like, this is what the band sent him.
And if the band likes it, that's all that matters. I
thought it was very fun. And actually, well, I do have I have 2112, and I have the comic that's with 2112, and it actually is in that style. So it's it was thematically correct. Yeah,
it's weird because there's like no information on this game. I can't find who did the design. I can't find artwork. This is weird. Anyhow, sorry to cut you off.
No, but that's the whole point. Is that it seems that it's I don't understand the playfield. I the playfield kind of I'm trying to figure out what's going on here.
Well, it's a little difficult whenever you don't have the appropriate media to help those of us out there that are in pinball and would be interested if this is something that we should add to our collection. We don't have any good gameplay footage or anything like that, or anything that should persuade us into giving them money kind of thing.
That's what was blowing my mind. So they've got like 5 videos out, right? And they're all like potato cam. They're all over someone's shoulder. Like Pinball News just released 2 that actually look half decent. At least like the camera is fine on it. But I'm getting frustrated because I'm watching these. I'm like, I want to see the helicopter. I want to see the balls lock into the helicopter.
Right.
I don't think any of the videos show that.
The beginning of their 19-minute video, I'm guessing you guys haven't watched the actual video, the launch trailer, quote unquote trailer for this, because that was one of my complaints during my video today, was that at least last night they did not have their trailer video available. And so it was like, what the hell, guys? I mean, it was at the beginning of their reveal for the game, wherever they revealed it over there, but it was not available online for anybody else to look at. I'm about to send it to you guys so you can see. So, but at the beginning of that 19 some odd minute video that was released by Pinball News, they do have this video, but it's merely a recording of the video that's playing on a projector screen. So you're not getting like, the full quality up close. I can pause it to figure out the shot, layout and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the video overall is pretty amateurish, but it's like, man, it just could have been done.
It's like someone with a GoPro.
What made me chuckle is like people the first day this came out were asking us like, where does this shot lead? Like, does the ramp just go up to I'm assuming that's a gold record, or is that like a symbol from a drum set? That I don't know. Anywho, but they couldn't see that it did a 180 flip and came back to the in lane because of the way the pictures are taken. And they were confused by the spinner right below the ramp. And honestly, it's funny because when we first got these pictures, I'm like, it's really weird they did a 2 flipper layout. And Travis Murray's like, Josh, there's a 3rd flipper. And he points
but
out,
it's not hard.
It's black. It's like
it's hard to
camouflaged.
See. Yeah, it's in the left orbit. But it's almost like a piano shot from the Twilight Zone. Yeah.
But yeah, that right ramp feeds back to the right flipper via the wire form.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as like even the hardware that they use for the record, the gold record, I'm guessing that's what they created as a gold record. I don't know if they ever went platinum or if the platinum was available back then. I don't know.
I bet they went diamond.
I kind of wish that they would have used some different hardware, because I mean that kind of looks weird holding up that particular record right there. They could have done some recessed screws or something in there to make that look a little bit better.
Okay.
I don't know. That's nitpicking.
But I want to paint a smiley face underneath it.
But you get a spinning disco ball.
Yeah.
So there's something. I don't even have that in my Deadpool. I wish I did.
I have it. Yay.
So ABBA is one of the very few bands. So I don't know if you guys know this. So gold is like, I want to say 50,000 albums, and then platinum is either
gold is 500,000. Platinum
right, because diamond's a million. No,
diamond's
a million.
I think diamond's because double platinum. Let's see.
But something that you don't get in the description of the game or even in the pictures, but you get it in that video for a moment, is at the top of that left ramp towards the very back, there's a magnet, and kind of like the telekinesis magnet for Stranger Things. Maybe that's why they use Stranger Things font.
Maybe.
But,
okay.
No, it just hit me. I was like, wait a minute. But at the back of that ramp, there's a magnet, I guess, that can activate it. Instead of the ball sometimes leading back down the wire form to your left flipper, it can drop down the dropout hole of that particular ramp into the pops, or actually whatever's going on up underneath there. It looks like there's targets or something. Probably feeds to your left orbit. I don't know. It's hard to tell when all we got is images.
Okay, just in case you're wondering,
you're right,
Josh.
Scott. Yeah,
Gold is
Scott, you're right.
500,000.
Yep.
Platinum is 1 million. Multi-platinum is obviously more than one, so like 2 million. Diamond is 10 million.
10 million. So sorry. So there's not very many diamond albums out there.
No, there's like
one of them
Thriller,
actually is ABBA. ABBA's greatest hits achieved diamond status back in May of 2000.
Okay.
So, ta-da.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get an idea how this game shoots by looking at everything, and this looks like a cluster of non-flow up here at the top of the game. I mean, I've got my targets, I've got my pops, I've got some looks like drops, another pop that's underneath the left ramp. I mean, the orbits may be smooth, but I think if you get it up there in that top region of the game, it's going to be a bunch of bouncing around kind of thing.
Yeah.
Basically, you have a ramp that feeds back to the flippers, and then just it's like a
center scoop.
A cluster,
yeah, and then
I hate
stand-ups around stand-ups on the backside of the helicopter. You've got drops on the right side. So when I was watching the video, the orbits, so if you hit the right orbit, it obviously comes around to the upper left flipper, and then you can kind of repeat the center spinner shot. From what I could tell, I didn't see anyone repeat it, but then again, it is what it is. But I noticed when people are hitting the left orbit, there is, if you look in the very back of the pinball machine, there is like a gate back there, and it would stop it from going all the way around and drop it down into the pops.
It may be a control gate because it looks like you got a gate behind the disco ball and a gate above the right side and left side. So it looks like it would be, they may be controlled gates to keep it
Yes,
kind of like the old school solid state games where the ball would go up there and bounce back
Mm-hmm.
and forth
Bang,
for a little
bang,
while
bang,
and
bang,
eventually
bang.
drop down into it. That's what it looks like. So I don't know if they're controlled gates, but that's what it looks like. We got gates right now. But separated pops, that's interesting. You got one on one side and two on the other. And as far as that upper left flipper shot, I mean, I can't tell, but it looks like it may not be repeatable. It looks like it would go up and hit a target and then drop into the pops.
It's hard to tell if that's like a warp ramp shot, but
it's difficult for you guys listening or even watching on YouTube to see what the hell we're talking about because we're seeing the images, you're not. But I'm telling you right now, there's only certain images that are available because God forbid if they wanted to release everything for us to see.
If
you go to Pinball Brothers website, it seems like they had a little bit more there under.
There is a little bit. Actually, I'm at Nap Arcade. Where are you?
I'm on their website.
Nap Arcade,
Pinball Brothers. Things that I like. I don't want to seem like I'm just crapping all over this game. Things I like the glowing targets on like the wire, not on the ramps.
Yes,
they've had those on all their other games. I really like how those glow. I like that. The left ramp, I like how if you look at it from the above point of view, it looks like it's got the kind of like the whirlpool style where if you launch it up there, it's going to do like a Cactus Canyon loop around when you first plunge a ball. And that's either going to basically get magnetized to drop down into your left orbit, or it's going to just continuously circle around that plastic to feed into the wire form. That looks interesting. I like that. Disco ball, always cool. Art is tolerable on the play field as far as the mechanical nature of the helicopter. Don't know yet. The blade spins, so that's a perk. But how everything else goes inside, one ball drops on one side, one ball drops on the other side. Would have liked to have seen that in action. You get like a little glimpse of it in that 54-second video I sent you guys.
Okay.
Now I'm hoping the disco ball. I mean, you asked about Deadpool, and there is the disco ball in Deadpool that's in one mode, which you really don't get to that much. So I hope you don't feel like you're missing anything, Cary.
I get a little bit of it with my Penn Stadiums with the UV. I got it hooked up to where it would be giving me the flash reflector and the dazzler multi-ball and stuff. So I still get a little bit of it, but just to be nice to kind of have it,
I'm hoping, and I get it. You're not missing that much really, but I'm hoping they implement it more in this game because that is a cool. Disco ball is cool. Like it's a cool effect from a certain era.
I'm with you, Cary, on this. Like, why haven't they released this video before? So it's like you said, it's a 54-second video. It's cool. Like, you got the spinners on it and whatnot. Oh, I didn't even notice that. So that what you're talking about, that left ramp, there is a magnet in there that kind of drops the ball down in. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, this was released 15 hours ago.
Yeah.
That's 700 views.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird for a brand new release of a game.
Now here's the next question I'm kind of curious about. Let me look up Pinball Brothers on Facebook to see if they shared this video on their Facebook page. I mean, just out of curiosity to see how up to par. Okay, they did release it 15 hours ago on their Facebook. Okay, so I'll give them there. They did that.
Numbers aren't separate on YouTube from like America to Europe, would they?
No, I mean it should be all combined.
540 subscribers. Okay.
I'm one of those. It's like I follow them. I look forward to what they bring out, but this one was a little bit underwhelming. But as of last night, I literally recorded a video questioning to my patrons, like, why have they not released the trailer that is on that 19-minute video to the public?
Right.
And then it was there like today. So I'm like, I wonder if word got out that I was curious about that or what.
Okay, now marketing aside, okay? Marketing, obviously there are issues with marketing that we think should be better. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the game? Like, do you think that this is something you're interested in? Do you think it's going to compete with other games at a similar price point?
No.
Oh, and the price point on
that's one we didn't hit on yet, is price.
Yeah, price.
Okay.
Standard edition's what, 10K, and the LE edition's 11? Or did I have that back?
Was it like 11.5, I thought?
Yeah, something like that. Still, we're 5 digits. We're above 10K on both.
We are.
Yeah.
What's Alien at? 7,500 still?
Yeah, for
like
Ripley edition. You get that Trouper with it. That's like one of the best values in pinball right now. If you get the damn Ripley edition with the topper, I mean, that's a lot for what the price is.
However, okay, compare this to Elton John.
I'd rather have Elton John.
Okay,
shadow of doubt.
It's also more.
It'd be more, but I know that the game shoots well also because one, you had really good media to get out there, and I've played it. That helps dramatically.
Yeah. Sure, but this is in that theme era of Elton John, right?
Yeah, and 70s. Yeah,
at least it's visually. I think it's visually at least. At the very minimum, it's passable, but I would say it actually looks pretty good. Okay. So if someone is interested in ABBA, then I would be curious about this. Again, this is not my demographic who is buying this, but I bet you're going to get more people actually interested in this game than you will in some other options, even at a lower price than this. You're gonna move some games.
I think definitely for the hardcore ABBA fans. I mean, if you're hardcore Elton fan, I'm sure Elton spoke to you. But the bonus about it being a Elton fan is that it's also Jersey Jack's best shooter. I mean, so not only are you going to be happy with the fact that it's a great theme for what you're interested in Elton John, it's their best shooter to date. So now it's a matter of like, okay, are you an ABBA fan? Good, they got a theme for you. Does it shoot good? We don't know yet.
Yeah, it's unknown, but I would say that at least right now it's promising. But you are right, from a marketing standpoint, they missed the biggest window, which is the first week.
So I think, I know we don't know how it shoots because we haven't played it yet. I think looking at the layout looks like it's safe, and that's good. Like I'd rather see a layout like this and be like, okay, like I can imagine myself playing this and it probably somewhat being enjoyable or whatnot. There's some play fields I look at and I'm just like, yeah, there's no way that's going to shoot good.
For me, Queen was hard. I remember me and Zach Minnie were both playing like Queen back and forth, and we were both like, man, this thing is not nice to us. I mean, like we miss a shot, it would just go out lane. Just my God.
Yeah. Queen felt like a late 80s game. That's what Queen felt like.
Okay, so back to your question, Scott. I want to hear from Cary first. So Cary, do you think this is a hit or a miss when it comes to, I guess, because then we got talking about price and whatnot, but what do you think of ABBA out the door?
I think for an ABBA fan, this because it's not my demographic. I don't want the game, but it may be fun to play. But I think definitely if you're an ABBA fan, and price is subjective, but this is I think this is their most expensive game to date. Uh, I don't see the value in it from my perspective for that price point, but I I think what would really help me is if I knew how well it played, and I can't. I don't know for sure on this one, so I'm looking at it like it's a big if, maybe kind of thing. But I think for that price point, then it better be bringing something cool to the table.
Yeah. What do you think, Scott? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't cut.
I
Mean to
was
cut you
just
off.
saying
Go.
because even aesthetically, it's a little bit hard when it comes to the cabinet, at least, and the back glass. So yeah, it's not my demographic. So, but if you're an ABBA fan, and like I said, I've already got off the phone with somebody that they put an order for one. They love it. They've already have another Pinball Brothers game, so they have confidence in what they can build. So they're all in on ABBA because they even went to the Voyage concert and stuff like that. So I think definitely if you're an ABBA fan, this is probably like a dream come true for you. And I think that's part of what they were going for. But the guy that was on that 19-minute video stated that he was hoping that this was going to be going towards the pinball community more than just ABBA fanatics. So if he's
Which
aiming
makes
towards
sense.
the pinball community and not the ABBA fans, we need more footage. We need something, give us a little more proof in the pudding kind of thing.
Yeah. Because the next time this shows up, it probably be at Expo, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if anything in between there. So, okay, Scott, what are your thoughts?
Success is company dependent. And so, would this be a success for Stern? Probably not. Would total nuclear annihilation have been a success for Stern? Probably not, because they have to sell a huge amount of them. Could this be a success for Pinball Brothers? Yeah, actually, I think it could, because you're dealing with smaller numbers. You're dealing with a target release, target audience. I don't know what their break even point on this would be, how many they have to sell to be a success. This certainly has the potential to meet whatever internal demographic goals they have. So that's
Well,
my take. What's yours, Josh?
so overall, I think it is a hit in the sense of I think they've pulled a great theme for what demographic they're aiming for.
Mm-hmm.
They might be a little high on the price point, but then again, we're aiming for. I mean, ABBA, like we've said, is 70s to 80s, so you're probably aiming for what 50, 60, 70-year-olds.
You're aiming at people who are establishing a game room in their house, and they're probably not going to balk too much about it.
But if you're willing to, like, if this appeals to you, more than likely you probably have the money to drop on it, because, like, I don't know, it's like one of the rumors is Cuphead. Like, that's mostly a kid's game. Like, I don't know how much that's going to appeal to a 60, 70-year-old mega grandfather that wants to put it in his arcade.
That's how much it'll appeal. Zero.
But if you're an empty nester and you're still working and you have some free money to burn and ABBA's your jam,
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a hit. I think that, yeah, the playfill artwork is passable. I'm not a huge fan of the cabinet, like Cary has said.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of
Lazy.
weird. Yeah, maybe lazy, maybe almost AI-ish.
Yeah.
But and layout feels safe. Like I said, I don't think safe is a bad thing in the pinball industry. I think code. I think if you can make a safe, fun shooting game,
Mm-hmm.
code can elevate, right?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
and so I don't mind that it looks this way, and I agree. I'm gonna have to get my hands to play on it. If I were to give it a grade right now, which I hate to do because we're doing first looks, not playing, I'd say average. I'd say 7 out of 10. So I think they've hit some high notes. I think they've hit some, like, stuff that can be improved upon. But overall, I think ABBA is better than some of the games we've seen released this year, and not as good as some of the other games released. So we're right in the middle of the pack, in my opinion, with this game. So
It has potential, but they're going to have to work on it and develop it and market it better.
Yep.
I mean,
All right.
without a
Go
doubt,
ahead.
congratulations to Pinball Brothers on the release. I mean, getting a
Yes.
game out in general is always a big challenge. So any company that can get a game out, major props to you. I think overall we are in agreement on a lot of things that we see. We want to see more, and we hope it shoots great. I mean, that would be hilarious if we play this at Expo, guys, and we're just like, damn it, you know what? This game is freaking amazing.
Awesome.
I love ABBA. Goodness gracious.
I thought you loved ABBA after watching Mamma Mia this weekend, man.
I like a lot of their songs I didn't know I liked.
Mm-hmm. Here you go.
And the other weird part about all this, so 2 founding members of Pinball Brothers also left like this past year. So that's kind of goofy.
They're Pinball stepbrothers now.
I guess that's weird. All right.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, people leave companies all the time, and
not founding members though.
Actually, yeah. What can happen when you do businesses? It's really interesting because my sister went through this when she started charter school. There are actually analysis that state that the type of people who start businesses are not usually the type of people who keep businesses. They're usually in perpetual startup mode. They'll start up, they'll get something, and then they sell the company to someone who wants to run a company. So that's not, this is not as unusual as it sounds.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next news. So we're running out of time. I guess there's really no
we
time
got
left.
We got all the time in the world, man.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do 4 hours tonight.
Hey, can we call Roger Sharp on? We want to fill some time.
I mean, anytime you guys do a episode with Roger Sharp, I am like on the edge of my seat. This is not sarcasm right here. I love listening to him.
I have to book 2 weeks out of my time.
We need to have him back on.
Yeah,
all right. So Pedretti, so we talked about this. Cary, you were down at TPF. Were you hearing rumblings like we were that Funhouse is their first remake they're going to come out with?
If you guys don't already know this, I am under NDA with Pedretti.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
so we're not going to ask you this question.
So I can't really give you a lot of commentary on this whole subject.
Know that.
Yeah, I put it out in the video. I don't blame you for not watching all my stuff, but I put it out in the video basically because I knew that people were going to hopefully see video content from me speculating on what their remakes are going to be and stuff like that. So I went ahead and just put it out there. Look, I'm under NDA. I know what games they're doing, what the next game is, all that stuff and junk like that. I'm supposed to be creating content in the future in regards to these games. As far as like what all is going to be involved in that and all that stuff and junk, I don't know at this point.
Gotcha.
And there's a bunch of other stuff that's kind of going on behind the scenes that I can't like say out here and stuff. But yes, I did hear the rumblings and the alleged leaks and stuff like that. The only thing I'm going to comment on when it comes to that is that the information that was divulged to me months ago, not all of the information or a lot of information that was leaked, quote, doesn't match with what I was told.
Okay.
So things could have changed. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that they don't tell me everything, but it's one of those where I'm like, oh, interesting. That's not what I was told.
This isn't your first NDA either. So blink twice if this is like Deep Root again.
No, this is far from it so far. I mean, but as far as like speculating and stuff like that, I sorry, I can't really contribute on that.
Okay. No worries. Okay. All right, let's talk Stern Pinball possibly going public or being sold. It doesn't shock me if this is true.
It doesn't.
There's a lot of moves.
Yeah, it doesn't shock me. It's a double-edged sword, right? Is the challenge with going public though? If you go public, then you are beholden to investors. And investors typically don't have long-term goals in a company in mind. They typically have short-term gains. What are you doing for me right now? We know the story of Williams and how Williams was shut down. Not because it was losing money, it just wasn't making as much money as their slot machine arm. Yeah. So they made the business decision to maximize what their biggest revenue stream was.
Yeah.
Now, will that be challenging if Stern gets bought into other companies and they become an arm of something? If they are an entity unto themselves, then they will be, okay, so we make pinballs, that's what we do. You can also have issues with the stock value. Is it good or bad? I would say it's a predictable next phase, as Gary is basically a legacy member now of his own company.
Yeah.
It makes me concerned if you have a lot of people who are making the decisions, like shareholders and stockholders, all that kind of stuff, versus just a very motivated individual who wants to keep pinball alive.
Yeah.
I would argue I don't think that Stern would have made it in the 2000s if they were a public company. I think at some point they would have cut their losses and shut down.
Yeah.
That is my concern. Right now, pinball is hot. It's cooled down a little bit after the pandemic, and people are getting out more and traveling more, and they don't have $10,000 to spend on a machine they're putting in their house. But I'm just always cautious when it's moving to a different way of doing business, because that is definitely going into the unknown. What are your thoughts, concerns, hopes?
So, I mean, I think a large amount of pinball enthusiasts, I mean, they look at Stern as obviously the titan of the industry,
Mm-hmm.
and they have gotten that way through all the things that they've done in the past and what they plan to do in the future. When it comes to even Insider Connected, they didn't merely just, on a whim go, "Hey, let's just do this for some achievements." No, there's definitely plans that are in the making for whether it be DLC, it's always rumored and stuff like that. But it's like when people look at Stern, they always have that mindset of like, oh, they're just greed. It's always after the bottom dollar. It's all that matters. Like, oh, a for profit company. What are the odds of that? It's like,
Yeah.
do you feel like if they did go public, would I guess the amount of greed or speculated greed rather be even worse though?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So
Mhm.
if you went public, what would happen is, anytime you get like a code, you now this is I've seen the future. What's going to happen is, okay, you go to an arcade and you play the 1.0 code, or you can buy personally the DLC option to play the 1.1 code or the 1.2 code. And when you scan your Insider Connected, it's going to activate your unlocked rule set. It's the same thing as video games, right? I can see that happening. And I can see that people may talk about Stern about being all about the money. However, I will argue they are still by far the most over delivering, lowest cost option for the best games out there.
Yeah.
Godzilla is the best game on the market right now,
I think
and
that's what's
you can still.
disrupting the market.
What was that?
I think that's what's disrupting the market.
Yeah,
Like when
it's
everyone's
so
buying something
good,
right now, you're like, why would I buy an ABBA for 11,000 or 10,000 or
right?
$11,000? Have a Godzilla
It's
premium
the new
for
gold standard.
95.
So when you say, is Stern about the money? Sure, but Stern is also I don't want this to sound dismissive, but they're in Walmart business. They make their
Yeah.
money through volume. They don't make it off 2 games. They make it off thousands of games. So,
Or they don't have to sell in volume by increasing the price.
well, and that's definitely, well, there are other companies who basically have that business model, right?
Mhm. That's kinda how they do their toppers and accessories.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I have certainly talked about their toppers, but the toppers they're candy. They are not necessary to the game.
Yeah. I it makes sense when I heard this. It makes sense looking at, I mean,
I I
I
don't
know
want it. I'll say it
I
makes
don't
me
either.
sad. I think it makes me sad. That's the take home. I think
I think,
it's a pivot.
yeah. I think looking at how pricing has changed over the last 4 years, you can say it's all COVID, but an LE price going from 9,500 to $13,000, that's not all wood. And
Mm-mm.
I mean, I feel like there's been a lot of positioning, bringing in Seth Davis, who was at Disney, who helped launch some of these like online streaming for Disney and stuff like that. He knows big business. Uh, Gary stepping down and being more of a legacy figure, there's just a lot of things that make sense now. The testing of the waters of a Bond 60th and seeing how much money they could actually get out of a limited edition like that, and seeing what the L1 name actually can command.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, granted, like Stern is obviously in unknown waters, right? Like they're always pushing forward into areas that other companies aren't doing because they're the big boat in the
They
water.
can't.
And so
They are the giant cruise ship when everyone else is driving tugboats. Really, that
yeah.
like they.
And so a lot of this can be viewed as just exploration and research and development. But I do, looking at now that someone's saying like this being sold publicly or having more of a public whatever to it, it makes a little more sense. We'll see what happens over the next year or two, if this is the case. So, and maybe we won't. I don't know.
That's the thing. We don't really have a lot of information to
We
go on
don't.
with this.
However, would it surprise you? I guess that's the real question.
It wouldn't surprise me because Gary, we'll look at it this way too. As far as I know, I don't think any of Gary's kids are really involved with Stern Pinball. And there's no like legacy, right? Like, I guess that'd be a driving factor, like a family business. Like, obviously, you want to give it to your kids, and if the kids love it, then they want to move it on. But if you have no one in your family,
if you're the end of the
interested,
line, yeah,
yeah, why not cash out and
Okay.
get as much money as you can?
There's a reason why artists are selling their catalogs. Okay, Bruce Springsteen sold his catalog.
Kiss just sold theirs
Kiss
too.
just sold their catalog. Rush sold their catalog.
Yeah.
You know, Twisted Sister sold their catalog. Like they're all doing it because they're like, okay, I'm done with this. Let's move on.
Yep. So, alrighty, let's talk really briefly about. We did do an interview with American Pinball. I just want to say we heard you. We heard that that you couldn't hear David and
Yes.
Steven.
Yeah.
I do apologize. If you watched the YouTube video, I know Cary watched it before we started recording, but they were in a conference room and they were kind of far away from the computer. And the problem is when you're in that situation too, I can raise their levels, but then you get background ambient noises and stuff that become worse. And so it becomes a game of like, especially if it happens while they're talking, it becomes, I don't know. I released it because I didn't know what to do.
Okay, there was only so much we could do, and to be fair, there were my mic has been out of date, and so I ordered the same mic Josh does. So now he and I are recording on the same mic, so we should at least have
it's the same mic Cary has.
Yeah, you all have the same mic.
Triple
as me.
mic. Triple mic.
That's right.
Triple mic.
That's why we sound amazing right now.
Dun dun dun, baby. Okay, we should start singing. Come on, take a chance. Take a chance. Take a
Dude,
chance.
I do not sing.
Wow,
I'm not the karaoke person.
Okay,
but yeah, it was an interesting interview.
It's still good to talk to them, right? It's good to get their point of view, and that's the whole point of us trying to get interviews with people, is because they get to tell their side of the story and their perspective, as opposed to podcasters. We do a lot of speculation.
Well, and the weird part too, someone asked us about this, like, so was someone trying to kill David Fix? Like, were they trying to? What was going on there? I'm like, I don't know. Just listen to the interview. Do you remember that, Scott?
Okay, I think it was like the rumors that he had died. That I don't think it's to kill them. No one.
It was. I don't know. It was different.
It sounded a little bizarre, but I think it was just rumors that he was no longer among us.
But if you go to american-pinball.com, we're on the front page. So you just scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And you can check out our interview there. So Cary's like,
I gotta verify this.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
We are right there.
Well, I'll be damned.
Next to Chad and Teddy get lit. What is
oh my god. Did y'all not see this?
No.
We could talk about this if you want to. I thought the freaking launch for ABBA was cringe. No. This is the cringe de la Clure. I can't even pronounce it. Creme de la cringe. That's what I want to say. Right. This is so bad where I'm just like, oh no, guys.
Oh, Wow.
No.
I'm gonna have to. This is a 3-hour live stream of
Schedule
GTF.
that in. I'm telling you, it is
3 hours. Yeah, you're gonna have to schedule that in.
I couldn't watch it in its entirety. I had to like skip around, but every time I skipped to another portion, I was like, just no, I can't
Please.
watch. I can't look directly at it. Like it's like
It was like an
It's
eclipse.
not 3 hours. It is
like
4 hours. It's 3 hours and 53 minutes. Holy crap.
That is impressive. Wow.
Wow. Stamina, baby.
We'll have to check that out later.
Hey, it's got. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to go into detail. All right. Never mind.
Let's stay on topic. Stay on topic. Okay.
Stay on topic. Okay. But yeah, we do appreciate you guys listening. We do, it is what it is. We just interview.
You know what? We do our best.
Yeah. Yes. But the one thing that kind of frustrated me though, because it's like we interviewed these guys 2 weeks ago, and then you hear that Dennis Norman's no longer at American Pinball, but if they do decide to make the game he was working on, he'll come back as a consultant. And now McQuaid's up next. So Ryan McQuaid won American Dream with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right.
But American Pinball couldn't get Sonic the Hedgehog because another company had already snatched it up.
Mm-hmm.
And so the rumor is he's on Cuphead. So if you've never played Cuphead, it's a Microsoft, it's like a tandem game. There was a indie developer that made this game. It's a beautiful game in the art style of like 1930s rubber animations, what they call it. And the game is brutal. Like if Ryan McQuaid doesn't kick you in the teeth with this pinball machine, I don't know if it does justice for Cuphead. Like
that's the thing. The demographic for Cuphead is going to be relatively small. Okay, I mean,
the awareness.
I own
the
awareness of that too.
Yeah.
But look, coming from somebody who I own Cuphead, I have played it a lot in the past, and it's one of those games where it is hard.
Yes.
This game is like it's like the artistry and way they went about creating it is bar none amazing. I love the old school retro aesthetics to this game, but it is one of those games where you are going to want to just break your damn controller because of frustration of how difficult some of these boss fights are. And that's essentially what a lot of the game is. You got these little levels here and there spread throughout, but it comes down to beating these bosses that have different basically stages to them difficulty wise, and there's just things that are going around everywhere. You're constantly having to jump, duck, dodge, shoot your finger bullets at them and everything. It's not an easy game at all. So I'm kind of curious of how they're going to be able to implement that theme into pinball.
Well, and I don't know, have you watched the Netflix series? Because they've got 3 seasons out.
Tried. I think I watched a few episodes and I was like, yeah, it wasn't enough to keep me going.
The funny part is my family loves it. So we've watched all the seasons. And if you go that route, maybe you don't go so brutal. I don't know. But I agree with you, Cary. Like this game, if you've never played Cuphead, it's what, $15 to download, if that? It's on the Switch. It's on Xbox.
It says $20 for Switch, but yeah.
Okay. But download it. Give it a try. It will kick your teeth.
It's a couch co-op, so if you got a buddy at the house, then y'all can play together. It makes it a little even funnier, but it is not an easy game.
Wow. Okay. No. I'll try it. I'll try it and let you know. I haven't tried it yet.
And it's to give you an idea what the game is like, it's got 2 different styles. So the first style is side-scrolling shooter. So if you remember like the old Contras.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. Contra.
Okay, actually, do you know what my favorite side-scrolling game is? It's actually like an old NES game. It's called Life Force.
Okay.
It's like it's basically Contra, but with ships, like flying ships. Okay. And it's the same type of, you can do the same code. You can do the same code and get 30 guys. Like it's awesome. They have a game called Salamander that's actually it's kind of ported from and changed. But it's, if you're ever looking for an NES game, Life Force is a fun game. But okay, you guys are bearing the lead a little bit on this. Okay, Nordman is out at AP. Okay?
Yeah.
Here's my question. Does Nordman ever stay at a job?
Not when he foresees bad things coming.
Okay, so that's kind of okay. However, he also left.
He left
Stern. He did. He did Elvira at Stern. So
did he though? My understanding is most of what he had drawn in there was kind of torn out and simplified.
Maybe. Okay, all right. The question I have is is at some point you have to ask, is it all the companies that he's working for? Is he just not making good choices, or is he just an unreliable designer that there are so many things. He's picking bad projects, right?
Yeah.
We know that he went with Highway and then got out of Highway before Alien, and then went to Deep Root and we got out there, and then was with American Pinball and got out there. There is a
There's
theme
a
here.
reason. There's a reason Dennis Kriesel named him the Canary in the Coal Mine.
Okay, but the Canary in the Coal Mine still should probably have produced a game. Like I just released.
He did. He Galactus Tank Force.
This is something that not a lot of people know about this, and it's kind of weird. Is that he didn't really design that game?
Really?
Yeah, he did a little bit of it, but most of that was with Reno. If you look on the credits for it, sorry, I forgot his first name. I mean, I've got him in my phone and everything.
Janet Reno?
Who?
Janet Reno. I'm sorry. She
No,
was the attorney general in the 90s.
No. If you look on the credits of the game, it was oh my goodness. If he's listening to this, I feel so bad. I don't remember his name. But like Norman did a good amount of work on it, but a lot of that was not his design. And that's what cracked me up, is that I'm just like, wow. I mean, like, basically Norman's getting all the credit for this and everything. I mean, he definitely helped out with the aesthetics of the cabinet. He really wanted a cabinet that turned into a tank. And I think that's one of the reasons also, when someone asked him, I forgot who I was talking to about this, they were asking, what's your favorite thing about Galactic Tank Force? And he commented the cabinet. That was his favorite portion of Galactic Tank Force, was the cabinet. Probably because that's what the main thing that he implemented. But as far as design goes, he didn't do much of that. I'm going to have to look up his damn name. This is going to drive me up the wall.
Well, it's not on Pinside, because I'm looking at Pinside and they have him as sole designer.
Paul Reno.
Paul Reno. Okay. I totally forgot he worked. He did the design for Lexi Lightspeed with Multimorphic.
Okay. There is a lot of incomplete grades in his work since his William days.
Dude, that's weird. I totally spaced that.
Because I want to say, if you even look on the apron where they list off all the designers and everything and who's involved in the game, if you could find a picture of it somewhere. But they list them on there. Like,
wasn't this his idea though? Like the whole Galactic Tank Force and the ice cream, wasn't this an idea he wanted to do from the William days?
Norman, mainly the tank portion of it, but as far as the layout, I don't think the layout.
So here's my thought, because my understanding was it's Norman really pushed this concept of tanks and ice cream, right?
Like didn't you guys have him on?
Not
no,
Norman.
We didn't have him on. Maybe we need to have him on.
No, I thought he was part of it because his power went out or something like that. I thought he was on with you guys during an interview, or is that somebody else that I'm thinking of? When y'all had, I think you had David Fix, Norman, and I thought you had Paul on there, but his power went out.
We had Jack Hager and Fix.
Because I remember messaging him like, man, I really wish he would have been able to join in on the thing with the Galactic Tank Force. And he said something about his electricity went out, so he was unable to.
Maybe. It's been a while.
This is terrible. By the way, so if you listen to us regularly,
we're going off the rails quite a bit here, guys.
If you remember our tenured past with our interviews, please write in and let us know if we had. I swear we never had Dennis Norman.
I don't think
I know that we've had
Dennis on.
We've had Fix on a couple times. It does just make
me wonder. And I hope I'm not speaking outside. I can only look at it from an outside person. But he has.
It might have been Triple Drain that had him on then. That I'm thinking of. Sorry,
he had
if it wasn't you guys, then it was somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, so they had Elwin on, and Travis's power went out for like 20 minutes, and he had to like run to the bowling alley or something.
Oh yeah, where Travis is like walking around looking for signals. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that we have not had Dennis on. But it does just make me wonder. And again, this is just me looking for as an outside person. There's a lot of like unfinished games that are in his wake and unfinished employment. It does make me question, if I were an employer, would I hire this guy? It seems like there's a lot of question marks more than product right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Just looking at even looking at his recent games, so like Elvira is obviously a hit. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But like I
There's
said,
no
I don't
buts,
know how
but
much
there's
of
other
that's
things.
my understanding. There was a lot more ramps in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something for behind the scenes. Go to Expo, see if you can milk some information out of people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was back in August of 2023, whatever podcast he was on. Because I was like, I even said, it sucks you didn't get many words in the latest podcast.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I had a huge storm coming through, knock out the power.
Gotcha.
So, if it wasn't you guys, then like I said, it might have been Triple Drain. It was back in August, so I could be confused. But I know that he was supposed to be on the podcast talking about it because he is co-designer, but he did a majority of the lifting on this one.
Gotcha.
But like looking at his games, like he did the Zombie League concept / game design, but that's a pitch and bat. That's not really like straightforward pinball Primus. But is that because he did Whoa Nelly? And Whoa Nelly is not really regarded as a great game. Lexi Lightspeed is probably one of the better multimorphic games. I'm not gonna lie there. But even the Stern stuff, like Pirates of the Caribbean, was fun.
Yeah,
I'll give you
I
that.
actually have Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah,
but no one remembers Wheel of Fortune as an all astounding game.
No,
I mean, really, Demo Man's fun, and everyone loves Whitewater, and obviously the Elviras, everyone wants all three of them in their lineup. I
don't know. You can skip the Party Monsters,
Party Zone, Doctor Dude, a Blackwater White Hundred's a fun game. I just don't know.
Okay, you're going back. Like this is my John J-pop argument. You're going way back. Like
I guess my point being is I think the thing is the facades come off, right? Like we're looking at these designers from the 90s and we held them up on such a pedestal, right?
Yeah.
But I'm feeling pinball has progressed since the last 30 years, and we're realizing more and more that the games that are coming out from these designers maybe not necessarily are the games that we want. And I'm not saying I guess my point being was, okay, sorry, I'm rewinding this. Sorry, it took 10 minutes to get to this point.
Okay.
So Galactic Ting Force was a concept that was supposedly was explored back in the day, but it was never considered viable for pinball. So they never went forward with it. So American hires Dennis Norman and he pushes this concept, right? And it didn't do I don't know. I don't know if they consider it a hit or whatnot.
Sorry, it didn't sell.
But it didn't sell as many numbers as other pinball machines, right? In the modern age. Rewind back to American pinball's history with Oktoberfest. That was a Joe Balser, like he was trying to get it done way back in the day, back in the 90s.
Passion project.
No one on to do this. Passion project. American went for it, and
it didn't sell.
I would say that's probably the most underperforming American pinball game pre-shift of the company, right?
Yeah.
And so I think people are starting to understand that like these concepts that these designers have from years ago may not be the way to go.
Right.
Maybe that's just me.
Well, pinball is evolving. I mean, and it's arguably in a way de-evolving when it comes to more assets being on a screen for us to look at versus what they can put underneath the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's certainly there's an expectation of content that is necessary. And I don't know exactly what level that is, because I would be curious to see what happens if and when Lord of the Rings is vaulted. Because if you have to pay for all the assets of that to do, more, I guess, even just more video stuff, I don't know if you could do it at a price point. So that's the.
I got thinking about this the other day. I want you guys to answer this question, and this is totally hypothetical. If, let's say, Stern comes out tomorrow, and they say, "Hey, we're releasing John Wick by John Borg," but we've decided that we're going back to DMDs, but because we're saving money on assets, because a lot of the assets is now put into video screens, we're able to drop $1,500 off the price, all models. Would you be happy?
No.
Or would you be ticked off?
No,
I think it depends on the theme.
It's going back in time. And that's the problem. If you want, Pulp Fiction, yes, like that you want that to feel like a 70s game. If you release a DMD now, it is immediately dated. And to be blunt, screens aren't that expensive now. Like the screen is actually...
But the assets that they pay for those screens, that's what I'm trying to get to.
You could do... So how did Deadpool do it? How did Deadpool
They
get around
drew it.
that? They drew it. So they just
They didn't use the movie. They used the comic book version of it.
right, they
Yeah.
animated it. And so
Animated, yeah.
how you'd get around it, it would be the same thing for like, hey, we're doing John Wick, but we're doing a cartoon version of him. Now, I don't think
So
that'll
how's that
work.
working out for Venom?
Well, okay, not, but Venom has other issues, right? Venom
Mhm.
has other issues is that it's well, okay, it's basically, and I've said this before, it's a P3 game. The entire game is the back third playfield. And it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not much of a game compared to what you're used to. And so it didn't work for Venom. It did work for Deadpool though, because Deadpool is a full game, right? Now, Lord of the Rings, if they
But they still
released
got Nolan North who does the voice.
okay, but it's not Ryan Reynolds. Not the same thing. Like people when the
Still
people
a
think
great
of the
voice actor though who
I
did
I
his
get
voice.
it.
Yeah.
I get it, but when people think Deadpool, they think of Ryan Reynolds, okay? The if they did Avengers, like Avengers Infinity Quest, they did animated characters. They did not get Bruce Banner, you know, they didn't get Mark Ruffalo and they didn't get Chris Evans. They didn't do all that kind of stuff. If they did the same thing for Lord of the Rings and said, "Yes, we are doing a Vault edition of Lord of the Rings. It's going to be the same call outs because those call outs are awesome, but we will do like an animated version of the DMD." I would be 100% fine with that. I don't want to spend $5,000 more just to get movie assets in there because I can buy The Hobbit.
I think what gets for me, I enjoy audio content more than I do the video because the
Yes.
audio is going simultaneous while you're playing a game.
Mhm.
And I can quote a movie line, and immediately, if you know the movie, you're going to picture that portion of the movie in your head while you're playing. If I
Mhm.
hold up a card and said multipass, you know what movie I'm talking about. You
Mhm.
know what part of the movie it is. It's all visualized in your head, kind of thing. It's the
Yep.
same thing when I believe, for me, I look at audio as more important than video because I'm getting that while I'm playing and it doesn't really
Okay,
get as old.
in a
A
home
lot of times during
environment
video assets,
okay, in a home environment, you are right. In a
Mhm.
in an arcade or bar environment, you're wrong. Because usually they have the volume turned down so low that you have a hard time hearing it.
Yeah, but still, like,
That's why
case in
music
point,
pins
like
do
Cary's
so
saying
well at
though, is
home.
like but that's the case in point though, like, the
Mhm.
sound was made for the game, like, it doesn't matter if you're playing at a bar or if you're playing at
I
home.
okay, I totally agree with you. I totally agree. The sound is the thing that transforms a game into something more than what you expect.
Yeah.
And which is why when they did Star Wars, they paid a butt ton of money so they could get the John Williams music. Because that is Star
Yeah,
Wars. Have you ever watched Star Wars without, like, the soundtrack? It looks
it's horrible.
it's worse than,
It's
like
comical.
yeah,
And
it no, it's worse than Flash Gordon, like, without the Queen background music.
But it's the same thing with, like, Jurassic Park, you know, yeah,
Yeah,
they didn't have the movie assets, but they at least gave us the score of the
yep,
movie, which is iconic, and that's,
absolutely.
like, my daughter knew the movie when she heard that
Mhm,
score. She's like, "Jurassic Park." She knows what it is due to audio alone. And then you look into the game, and then you see a T-Rex head moving around
mhm,
and the shaker motor, and you recognize certain things from that particular theme. That's what really draws people in, is that it's not just audio alone. It's a
yeah,
combination to get all of those in there. But I'm thinking that for me, it's like initially when you're first playing a game, you're going to be watching those assets. But like you said, home environment, because after a while, you're like, I've seen the video before. Skip through it. Let me get back to
right,
playing again.
yeah.
So
I double flip
initially, first
I double
experience in the
flip all
game,
the time, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Trust me, it's I do it all the time on my
yep,
games. Like, yeah. I
yep,
want to get back to shooting kind of thing.
yep,
So it's like, yeah, initially when you're first playing it on location, yeah, you're gonna be watching those screens because you've never seen it before. But after a while, you're like, yeah, I just want to get back to shooting again.
yep,
So I think it's almost like in a way of waste of money going into video assets. Not entirely, but if you're
Mhm.
buying it for your house, it's like after a while, you're not it's just like, man, I almost wish that they would have put that money instead of video assets into other mechs or something with inside the game that I can constantly enjoy versus something that I'm going to just eventually just give up on watching because I want to get back to enjoying what could be more, but they put it into video assets.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, Cary and I
No.
went full Thunderdome on that one, but we didn't hear your part.
I would not be opposed to if we went back to DMD and we shaved some money off these games. I agree
Hey,
wholeheartedly with
I
Cary.
think you're actually not
I
like
think the
I think you're gonna spend more money on DMD, like actually pixelating that stuff.
I don't. I think yeah, like the upfront cost of maybe pixelating, but you're not syncing up video to sound and you're not like there's so much between the assets and syncing up the sound and making sure all the video works properly and I mean, it's just so much and now the coding, I mean, it you could use a couple guys to code a pinball machine, like maybe 1, 2. Now you've got full teams of coders that are trying to help each other just to make the DMD work or the LCD work. I just I feel like there's a lot of sunk cost into a screen where a lot of people will admit they don't watch, they skip, or it's something that you kind of notice when you're playing in a group of people
Mhm.
and you're just kind of look like but even then like I feel like when I'm watching like if I'm at a tournament I'm not watching what the screen's doing. I'm watching what the guys are doing to see what they're doing to blow up their score to see if that's a viable option for me in my strategy. Like it just I don't get me wrong. I think it's cool to see some of the like I enjoy Godzilla's scenes where Manila gets the crap kicked out of him
Mhm.
because you lost the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's just iconic and whatnot. But overall, if you told me tomorrow that you could save $1,000 to $1,500 just by simply getting rid of video assets,
I don't think
I,
it's that much. I really don't. I think that visually you are going back in time significantly, and what pushed them to actually it's cheaper to get, the yes, okay, I know what you're saying to do that, but I think it's cheaper just to put a screen there and to put the cartoon stand-up guys like fighting each other. I mean, you look at Avengers Infinity Quest. I mean, it's basically like stop motion art. There's not much there. So
And I
you're not
think for some of the games, they're already doing what we're talking about by
Mhm.
yeah,
not implementing the particular assets to save on cost. Otherwise, we
Wonka.
would have what you're
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, we would have certain assets, but I think they're already trying to do what they can for as little a cost as they can by still giving us, a lot of it there. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
we would like more. We would like the movie assets in Jurassic Park if you don't already have the altered code like I do. But like the movie assets in there do help. Greatly enjoy the movie assets on my Jurassic Park altered code versus what was given to us, kind of thing. But
Mhm.
we know that I'm sure the licensing for all the movie assets was going to be a much
Oh,
higher
yeah.
cost.
Mhm. Well,
So,
when you
but
pay
look at Pulp Fiction.
$20,000 for, Harry Potter, you'll let me know.
Yeah. Look at Pulp Fiction, though. It has no video assets. I love that game. If you haven't
Mhm.
played a Pulp Fiction yet, get your hands on one. It is a single level at
Mhm.
as per request from Quentin Tarantino himself. Like we've had
Mhm.
this discussion. Special edition. So this is a premium, right? Like
Mhm.
this is not even though it's their base level, it is technically a premium pinball machine. 8 grand. That's
Yep.
$1,700 less than a premium from Stern.
Yep.
Mhm.
Look at their LE, the Bad Mother Flipper. 9.5. That's less than a premium from
Okay, but
Stern.
that's also the same thing. We talked about um, that Cactus Canyon should have been an $11,500 LE. It should not have been a
Yeah.
9,500 $500 LE, which they
I
undersold that.
agree with you, but where is the money coming from on the bill of materials that they can get away with? You can't tell me the Chicago gaming companies' profit margins are so little
Yeah.
that you wouldn't want to make a pinball machine if you're not making money off these games.
Yeah.
I just yeah. And they could have sold these games for more. I think Pulp Fiction could have sold for more
It could have
easily.
easily. Yeah. But that's also you are selling it is a retro vibe thing. And you can't go back to that well every time. You have an iconic theme that fits a retro vibe. So what would be your next retro vibe that you would do? You gonna remake
This is
Flash
the
Gordon?
90s. This is a
Yeah, but
90s pinball machine.
It's I understand it's not a 90s pinball machine. What it
Okay, sorry.
does,
The theme was
the
released in the
theme is from the
90s.
90s, but if you looked at that without knowing anything about pinball and asked when you thought this was made, you would say late 70s, early 80s. Like just
Yeah.
the vibe it's going for.
I think also what sold the game and what people loved about it was the audio. If you
Yeah.
didn't
Yes.
have the call outs, R-rated call outs at that, and the music to go along with it, I mean, definitely, if you would have had rinky dink sound effects, the interest in this game would be much lower. But due to
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that you're getting the R-ratedness of the audio, call outs galore. I mean, it's got so many call outs in there, it's just ridiculous.
You also get
Yes.
Josh Sharp's getting in trouble for his wife coming up and saying, "Hey, tell your dad what you just said. Does he look like a?"
But I get that you're saying it's retro and whatnot,
Yeah.
but honestly, I want to play. Okay, out of all the games released last year,
Mm-hmm.
Pulp Fiction's at the top,
Okay.
and it's not because it's missing video assets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's ways to not cut corners, but to bring down your bill of materials, and
Yeah.
I felt like Chicago Gaming Company did it right with Pulp Fiction.
Was it also like a little bit of I guess, a breath of fresh air or a change of pace than what we normally
Yes.
get? I think that
Yes.
was
Yeah.
also what it was, is that they gave us something that was retro, but modern at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
something different, but also the same. And you know that the quality's there and it doesn't change anything. I mean, we could talk about like Turner
Okay.
Pinball. They wanted to completely change the aesthetics of the cabinet and they wanted to
They
change things and give us a breath of fresh air, but we do like things a
woo.
certain
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So they gave us the breath of fresh air by still giving us what we are used to seeing, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I think that also helps.
And maybe you're right there too, because this does look like an 80s Williams game with the box and the
Yeah.
cabinet the way it is.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't know if that would translate if you released another game. So this is exactly what Bond 60 should have been. The huge miss with Bond 60 is that they put it in a standard cabinet while trying to emulate that retro feel, and it didn't translate. If
Ellen even said that on our episode too. He's like, I mean, people are like, why did you digitize the reels? And they did a video
right,
dropping the
right, it wasn't a digitized, but okay, but it looked like it, right? It did. Everybody assumed with the picture it looked like the digitized reels because that's what Beatles is. And Beatles actually is fine. I own Beatles. Like Beatles is
Yeah, it's a
fine.
good game.
I'd
But
like to have one.
if they made Bond 60 with this type of vibe, I think it would have done better. Obviously, it would have done better if they dropped it by $10,000 too.
There you go. Okay, I
Okay.
was like, I'm waiting for you to mention
Okay.
something about that damn price tag.
Getting
I'm
there,
like, that's the major killer of it.
getting there. But yeah, it's
No,
yeah, okay. All right. I see what you're saying, Josh. It would be an interesting experiment, but nobody's going to leave money on the table if they are selling at the current market.
true. Just food for thought, I guess. I just had that thought this week. So.
Okay. You had a Royale with cheese.
I had a Royal with cheese, baby.
Oh, Royale.
Maybe I'm slightly
Royale.
jealous of Tim Lee because he sent me his pictures of his Pulp Fiction. And he's got it set up next to his banner from CGC.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why didn't I go with one of the? Oh, because I have small kids. Yeah. And I don't want to have to explain to them what a GIMP is.
My local arcade got one. He got it in a couple of weeks ago. And he says, as of right now, it's his top game in this lineup there.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to talk to him. I'm like, hey, man, you want to do like a temporary trade with one of my games kind of thing? I'll let one of my games get the crap beat out of it while I enjoy Pulp Fiction kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. You're like, I'll even maintain it. And
yeah, I'll go in there and take care. I'll be taking care of my game when it's on that location. My baby.
Oh, well, that wraps up for what I had on my notes.
Yep.
And
Cary,
this has got to be
Cary, promote your stuff. Do it.
Yes.
Just find me on YouTube, guys. You can type in Cary Hardy pinball into Google, and I'm sure I will pop up on there, like like firmware. But like I'll come up there and be right there. But yeah, I talk and do everything pinball, anywhere between just common topics, talking about discussion stuff, how-to videos, product reviews, restorations. Like I said, talking to everything pinball. I've even got something in the works for my next So You're New to Pinball series. Is for a lot of you out there that are just now getting into it, know little to nothing, the ones that ask the questions that a lot of us kind of had to just shake our heads and go, you don't know this. So I do have content for you on the way as well.
Okay.
And you don't be so modest, man. Like, you've almost got 10,000 followers. Your top videos got 37,000 views. Man, you're killing it in the content creation world. A lot better than most of us.
Legendary.
And you won.
Legendary.
Yes. You won the Twippy for content creator.
All 86 votes. Yeah.
87. Your mom voted.
Oh.
Okay, it was spread a little thin, okay? Because you got lumped in. Okay, we got to hurry and talk about this. We got a second. I called you up, and I'm like, Cary, first off, we're doing the Twippies. Do you want to submit something? And I'm not going to go into the full conversation.
Like, I don't know.
You essentially said,
it's hard.
Let's just say you didn't have time to do it, right? and so I'm like, well, Cary, I've got another problem then, because you won Content Creator of the Year, and I need an acceptance speech. And you're like, you're joking me, right? I can't say exactly what you said because this is a family.
I was pissed. I was like, no. I was like,
okay, you earned that, buddy. You earned that. Okay. Hey, so
it's still my favorite. You're like,
I am
you're
disappointed
joking,
though.
You were crapping me, right?
I am disappointed though. You wear our hat on so many episodes. Where is it today?
Where is it? I had it just on my one of my recent videos. Where is it?
Yeah. Like, you come on our podcast
on your wormhole.
And you don't. You lost it. You're like, screw it. I'm not wearing the Loser Kid Pinball podcast.
I don't know where it's at, guys. It's usually like right here. It's a staple item. Now I feel bad.
Wow.
I'll put on my spooky one. I got a spooky one right here.
There you go.
No, seriously, man, you're killing it. Congratulations. I still that will forever be etched to my mind when you're like, really, really,
man.
But, okay,
guys, thanks for having me on. That's great.
How can they get a hold of you? How can they buy your crap? Tell them.
Oh, no need. Like just go to my YouTube channel and check out everything. I have all information in the video descriptions on all that stuff and junk. If you like G Fuel, I have a G Fuel code for that. There's a lot of products out there that I have promo codes for. Also, Titan rings. If you type in Hardy as the promo code, I want to say you save 10 or 15% off your silicone rings. Same thing with Penn Stadium, stuff like that. Just a lot. I have promo codes out there for a lot of stuff.
So the real question is, how much can I get money wise off of your thing on a stick to turn on my pinball machine?
Oh, I don't think I have anything for Pinball Live.
Oh my goodness!
All right,
get you one of those and have it just hang in the background off one of your machines and your videos, and see if somebody's like, "What is that on top of your Iron Maiden, Josh?"
That'd be awesome.
That's how I turn my machines off and on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you again, Cary, for coming on. It's always a pleasure having you on, man. Yeah, if you want to get a hold of us, we are loserkidpinballpodcast@gmail.com, at loserkidpinball on all the socials: Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. If you're not watching us on YouTube, go there, hit subscribe, all the fun stuff. Also, we have Silver Ball swag. If you haven't checked out our new shirt, like, shout out to Steven Strom. He was wearing our new Loser Kid Attacks shirt and taking pictures with that. And so maybe we need to do like some kind of giveaway to get these shirts out.
We should.
Oh, and congratulations. Like, why did we not talk about this on this episode? Congratulations to Neil Shelton, the man that owns PinQuest. He now officially owns Silver Ball swag. As far as I know, Will Odding is completely out.
Yeah,
so if
he
sold
now, I guess it looks what it looks like. Yeah.
If he sold This Week in Pinball to Colin.
Hey, what I say about business? Eventually, it moves on. It just does.
Yep. So congratulations to them both. Neil, we're gonna have to have Neil on. Neil's a great guy. We did a PinQuest thing with him. Okay, I'm not gonna go off on that, but congrats again. And yeah, go hit up our Silver Ball swag.
And
Cary, give us the last words.
And by the way, congratulations to all your restores. I'm sad that I didn't get to see what you've been doing recently. But
Earthshaker was my latest one.
Yeah,
did that in 2 months. Ugh, it's a grind.
Okay, it's great stuff.
Eat, sleep, restore. That's all it was, right?
Yeah, but pretty much it was. Made it not fun.
All right, Cary, give us a parting thought.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I love all of you long time.